And we are live now, so that was very quick today. So welcome to class. Today we're going to look at phrases that have to do with the word time. It doesn't mean that it's just all about time, like what time is it, things like that, but just phrases using the word time. So I think they're called idioms, actually. Like, I'm not really sure if it's just phrases or they're idioms. I suppose phrases are idioms and sayings, so it's all similar, but with that, I'm going to go ahead and screen share with you as soon as, here we go, share. Perfect, and good, so we can see this now. This is fantastic. I have this up a little bit here. Okay, good, so no, we can go down perfectly fine. Technology is not my, oops, see, as we know that technology is not my forte, so perfect. So again, like I said, vocabulary, we're working with the word time today. So this is read and decide when we would use these expressions with time. Okay, so the first one says, long time no see. Okay, and this means a way of greeting a person you haven't seen in a while. So for example, you know, there's a lot of people that come here for a class, like Ismail, for example, from Turkey, and hey, Ismail, long time no see, which basically means I haven't seen you for a long time. Okay, what are other examples, other times that we could use this expression? Do either of you have any experience using this phrase?
I think.
Rafa?
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Sorry. I think a long time no see is a bit casual. Maybe it's been a while.
Sure.
Is formal, right?
It's probably more formal. Yeah, I would agree with that. It's been a while. Yeah, long time no see is very colloquial, very, you know, with your friends, you would say this. Kind of maybe joking around, like, oh, long time no see. Like, sometimes your grandmas might say, hey, you don't come to visit me ever. And so she might say, long time no see, you know, to kind of make you feel bad that you haven't visited or something.
So how about saying this to boss or such person? Is it okay?
Well, that will depend on your level of friendship. If you're literally just a boss and an employee, I would not say this. If you have kind of a long history, you've been working there for a while, you've had, you know, lunches together, you've been in informal situations, I'd say, okay, sure. But this is definitely something like on your first day, well, not your first day, but, you know, if you've been working at a place for a while, haven't seen the boss for a month, you say, hey, long time no see. I wouldn't do it personally. I think it's a little bit too informal for the situation.
Okay.
In that case, I would say, hey, you know, hello, boss. I haven't seen you for a long time. It's really nice to see you again. Something like that. Good, Rafa. You wanted to comment as well?
I think it's pretty useful, this kind of sentence, when you are, for example, on the street or in the street and you find a friend casually, or you break into someone. Could I say?
Bump into someone.
Both into someone, and didn't see him for a long period of time, and is the most common sentence that you can use on time.
Exactly.
So long. Could you say so long?
So long is when you say goodbye. Nope. So long is when you say goodbye to someone. So long. See ya. That I would say it's a little bit of not really in fashion anymore. I don't think many people actually say so long. There's a song which I'm not going to sing. So long farewell, which maybe it was from what's that movie? It's where the kids sang. Anyway, I think it's from an older movie, but So Long Farewell is probably the title. I'm sure you could find it online. But no, it's definitely a lot more formal.
Okay.
Or maybe it was just used in the past or something.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Okay. It actually happened this weekend. I was with my husband and we were in a shop and he saw the word swell on a t-shirt and he said, well, what does that mean? And I said, well, it depends on the context. I mean, swell in like the 50s would have been like, oh, that's swell, that's so cool, that's great. You know, now no one uses that expression, and that's kind of how I feel about so long as well. Also, to swell as a verb means to be swollen. If you maybe hurt your ankle and it gets bigger, it is swollen. So the verb is to swell. So, you know, like I said, it's kind of that same situation in my mind. All right, good. Okay, so the next one looks like, Ken, why don't you go ahead and read the phrase with the meaning, okay? Number 2.
Okay, save time. When you do something that is quicker in order to reserve time for the next thing.
All right, does that make sense? Any questions first?
So is it idiom just says save time means I don't get the exact meaning of it. Sorry.
That's okay. No, to save time, for example, is when people multitask. So they're saving time because they're not doing both things separately. Hello, Raphael. Nice for you to join us today. We're learning about time, about expressions using the word time today, and we're working on number 2. And Ken, to save time, so you do something that is quicker, basically is the main part, and then that's so you have time to do something else, and that's what they're talking about with the reserve time. So for example, I have to do homework later today. I'm going to put in a load of laundry and do the dishes now. I don't know, and maybe make some food, I don't know, after the dishes. When you do 2 things at the same time, maybe you watch TV and, I don't know, sew if you're into sewing or something that's broken, or ripped, I should say, something like that. Or watch a movie and maybe write down some notes from your book, I don't know, something like that. So then you use that other time that you would have been doing something else, and you can do a different activity.
Right.
So it's relatively, yes?
Almost literal meaning.
It is, and that's what I was just about to say. It's a literal meaning of you're saving time by doing 2 things at the same time.
Okay, thank you.
Good. You're welcome. Let's see, Rafa or Raphael, any questions?
I have a question.
Yes.
Because when you are telling in the explanation, you are telling when you do something that is quicker. Is quicker means you need to do more quick than other thing? Yes.
Not exactly. It's be more efficient, I think is maybe a better word.
Efficient. Yeah.
So for example, if you can, well, maybe this isn't quicker, but for example, when I sweep the floor, I sweep a little part of the floor and area, and then I will mop as well right after. That way I don't have to sweep the entire floor and then mop the entire floor and wait for all of it to dry. It will dry little by little, and by the time I finish, I'm able to walk on the floor. Do you see how that works?
Yeah, I think, thank you.
Yeah, so it's, you know, doing something but just kind of combining 2 things. Sometimes I'll be cooking something and, or actually what I do in the morning is I don't like to sit down and eat breakfast. I've always seemed to be in a hurry when I was in high school and everything, so I would, for example, put makeup on and eat breakfast at the same time. So I'm not, I don't spend 20 minutes sitting down wasting time just eating. I, take a bite of my toast and then we'll put some makeup on, eat some more toast, put some more makeup on. So actually I still do that. So, or I'll put, you know, my face wash on my face to wash it, and then I will go make my coffee, for example.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Yeah, good. And Rafael, again, thanks for joining. Do you have any questions about the second phrase that we're talking about?
No, actually, I don't have any questions about that.
Perfect. Well, in that case, Rafa, why don't you go ahead and read number 3 for us?
Yeah, a pleasure. Make time. To find the time to do something. Make time.
Yeah, same thing in Spanish, hace tiempo, I would say, right, Rafa?
Yeah.
So
Hacer
this
tiempo.
is, yeah. And so basically, you know, oh, I can make time this afternoon. I can maybe move things around in my schedule or do whatever I have to do, maybe cancel something to do something else more important. Good. Questions here?
For example, you could use tomorrow I need to make time better than find time. No?
Right. Yeah. That's actually a really good question. To find time is, oh, I need to find some time in my busy schedule to make cookies for the kids' school or something, for example, okay? That's when you're already busy, but you have to look for time, look for some space in your day. Now, if you want to make time, when you will move things around in the schedule and say, hey, instead of meeting at 6 o'clock, let's meet at 6:30. So, you know, I have some time to do something else.
Thank you.
Good. You're welcome. Ken or Rafael, any questions, doubts, anything like that?
Yes. Can I replace by get or no?
Get? G-E-T?
Get time.
Yes.
No,
not in this context. Get time is kind of when you find time. I would say it's more like that. To get time. I didn't get time to make cookies, for example. I couldn't find time. So make time is when you have to move things around. Does that make sense, or would you like a different example?
I would like to have another example, please.
Okay. So let's say you say, hey, can you help me with my homework? Well, I'll say, hey, if I get some time today, if I have some free time, okay, so that's me not changing my schedule around at all. I'm saying, you know, if I have some time in between this activity and the next, maybe I can help you if I get time, if I find time. And the other one is, hey, can you help me with my homework? Yeah, I can make time around 5 o'clock to go to your house and help you, for example. I can make time. I can move my activities in the afternoon around in order to help you. So you're making an effort, basically, is what I'm looking for here. You're making an effort to do something. Does that help a little?
Yes, thank you.
Kind of, okay. Well, I would say get time is when you find time, okay? That's more correct. Ken, any comments here?
No, thank you.
All right, well, that's good. So let's see, Rafael, can you read number 4, please, for us?
Time is money. Your time is a valuable commodity.
So time is money. Can anyone explain this for me?
Well, we live in a capitalized world, so we need to, almost everything is business nowadays. So if we need time to make money. So that's why I believe it's kind of implicit, the reason, I think.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. Anyone else have anything else to add to this one? Pretty straightforward here. Same idiom in Japanese, perfect. Yeah, and I think in Spanish it's the same as well. So this one's pretty easy, so that's good. Just saying that, my time is valuable, don't waste it. Or I don't have time to do silly things. I have to do the important things, something like that. So that's good. Number 5, Ken, why don't you go ahead and read that one for us?
Okay. Too much time on your hand. You have too much time and not enough things to do.
Okay, does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, good. Raphael, any questions?
No questions.
All right, well, that seems pretty easy, Raphael. Just want to make sure everything is clear before we continue. Well, Rafael, you're quiet, so I might just continue on to the next one. Rafa, actually, why don't you go ahead and unmute yourself so you can read number 6, and I will. No, that's okay. I will go ahead and move this down so we can see it a little. Oh. Here. Number 6.
6. To have a whale of time. To have a great time.
Okay, has anyone heard of this one before? This actually is not an American expression. I would never say this.
Have a whale of time. The sentence tends to thinking have a big period of time, but it's more related to have fun or to have a great time, no? Isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah, this is to have fun, basically. There's really nothing super special. Like we had in the past a whale of a time. In the future, we're going to have a whale of a time. You can use this in any context, in any verb tense. So it's relatively easy to use. You just have to remember to use it. Questions or comments?
No.
Okay. All right. I personally would say have a great time. I wouldn't use whale, so good. Let's see. Rafael, can you read number 7 for us?
To take time off, to take a holiday from work.
This is, again, pretty easy. So on Friday, for example, I took some time off, which means I didn't work all day Friday. I worked part of the day. Okay, so this one's pretty simple as well. There's really nothing too confusing about this. For example, actually, my husband asked me the other day, he said, what's the difference between going on holidays and having a day off? To have a day off means that you don't work that day from work, because we shouldn't work 7 days a week. And this is to take time off. To take time off basically means you, again, are making an effort to not work, to do something else, like go on holiday. And then to go on holiday, whoops, I was hitting buttons, okay, sorry. To go on holiday, to have a vacation, to go on vacation. So these are different expressions we have, but to have a day off is when you don't work, and then to take some time off is to say, hey, I'm not going to work on Monday. For example, this Friday, actually no, this Thursday here in Spain is a day off. It's a holiday, and so no one's going to work, but I bet there are going to be people that will take time off on Friday, so they have a 4-day weekend. Rafa, are you one of those people?
Yes, of course.
Really? So you're not working on Friday?
A big bridge.
A long weekend in English.
Yeah,
Bridge doesn't exist, yeah.
Long weekend.
So, no, I know exactly what you mean.
I have a question, because
yeah,
a day off could be only for yourself, but if all the country have this day off, could you say festivity or fairy day, or is also do you know the difference between a day off
yes
for you personal
Yeah, a day
issues.
off is during the week. Every week when you don't work is a day off. So for example, I have the weekends off. Those are my days off during the week. Well, I should say of the week.
Yeah.
For example, there are some people who don't work on Mondays. Mondays are their day off. That's a regular habit for them to not work on that day.
But
Now
if you
things get confusing for Thursday, for example, because it's I personally say it's a holiday. And so it's a holiday. It's a holiday with the article a. To go on holiday means to go on vacation. And because I'm American, I say vacation and not holiday for to go on holiday. So I'm using the same word in a different context. And so I'm not really sure what they learn in England, for example, or what they say. So this is what I can tell you. Does that kind of make things more clear?
Yeah, but if you are talking, for example, about the Independence Day in United States, this is a day off, or this is a vacation or a festivity? What kind of
This is a holiday to me.
a holiday?
Anything, yeah, like St. Valentine's Day, St. Patrick's Day, these are holidays.
Holiday.
But you also have the day off. You have the day off from work because you're not working.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I hope that's clear. It's quite confusing, and that's why I wanted to write a lot of these, to go on holiday, have a vacation, just because we use specific verbs in each case. And they might not make sense all the time. So good. Any questions about this one? Thanks, Rafa, for your questions as well.
Yes, I have a question.
Yeah.
Does it work for longer periods of time? Maybe a week or a fortnight, a month, maybe a year?
Well, then it depends on the situation. If you say, I'm going to have the weekend off, I'm not going to work at all this weekend, for example, then you would say the weekend I have a week off, or I'm going to take a week off, take some time off. So where there's the word time, we would just insert the amount of time. Does that make sense? Does that answer your question?
Yeah, thank you.
Kind of? Okay. Okay, well, my next question for Rafa and Ken is, how long is a fortnight? Because I don't use that. I didn't even know what a fortnight was when someone told me. So do you understand what it is, Rafa?
A fortnight, or 3 months, or 15 days. One of them. I'm not sure about.
Well, I don't know where you got 3 months, but it's definitely like 2 weeks. I think it's either, 2 weeks or 15 days or something like that. I don't know why that's the expression, but that's what they say in England. So it's good to know. But like I said, I had never heard of it until like probably 5 years ago. And I was like, a fortnight? I thought maybe it was like 2 nights or something like that. But no, it's like 2 weeks. So perfect. All right. And let's see this last one. Oh, gosh. Is it Ken's turn? I don't even remember.
Maybe, yes.
Okay. Number 8.
To do time, to be in prison.
Yep, so when we use the verb do with time, it means that you're in prison. So someone might say, I did 2 years. In that general context, we know that those 2 years is he was in prison to do time. And again, you would substitute the amount of time for the word time in this expression.
Kind of euphemism.
Questions? Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. Perfect. Well, that one is one that I don't think, or I hope that no one has to use, but it's still good to understand it. So with that, let's go down here and we'll take a look at these other ones that we have. So now, Rafa, why don't you go and read number 1?
Yeah. To call time. When you decide it is time to end something.
So can you think of a situation in which you would call time?
When you decide it's time to end something. At the end of one day working, you could say, let's to call time this day or something like that. There is another expression I am thinking right now is to call it a day.
Okay, that's kind of a better meaning for what you're talking about here. Just because to call it a day means, hey, let's finish for today. I'm done. Let's call it a day. Okay. Yeah. To call time is like at the end of a football or soccer, football match or soccer game. When the ref blows the final whistle, he's calling time because he's ending the game or the match.
That's right. Oh, perfect.
To call time maybe when, well, at the end of the first half as well, if there's a penalty or something like that, they might, I don't say they call time, they would blow the whistle in that case. So I'll just blow the whistle. Oops, whistle. Here, that's blow the whistle. They're not finishing the end of something when there's a penalty. So that there's a difference. Yeah. Let's call time. I would say it's more related to games and, things like that. So any questions about that one?
Yes, I have a question. Would it be more suitable when we ask for a break, for instance, rather than call for it to end? I don't know, just understand.
Well, sure, you can say, should we call time? And maybe say, and take a break. I suppose you could say that. I don't think it would be super common. But should we call time is like, hey, should we take a break? Yeah. I mean, that was a good question. You can say, should we call time and resume in 20 minutes, for example? Yeah, Rafael?
Yes, I believe, I don't know, just my perception of this statement. I don't know if it's correct or not.
Yeah, I mean, you can. I definitely wouldn't say it's incorrect. For me personally, I wouldn't normally probably say it. But it's fine. It's definitely fine to use if you're like in a meeting or in a group session of something. Say, let's call time, let's go eat lunch, and we'll come back. So that's good. Ken, any questions about this one?
Maybe this idiom sounds like referee kind of maybe game, like a game or something.
Yeah, referee. And that's how normally I personally would think about this too. So did you hear that when you were in the United States?
I don't know, but I know the idiom called "call it a day."
Okay, yeah.
Meaning end of end of something in a day or something. So
yeah. Well, good. No, I understand that too. And calling it a day is just like, I'm finished. I don't want to work on anything else. I'm not going to do anything else today. So I'm going to call it a day means I'm finished working for today. So yeah, good. So it is a little bit different. So very good. Rafa, you read that, I think, right? And so Rafael, you should read number 2, please.
Time of your life when you're having a wonderful time experience.
I think that's pretty simple there. It's pretty self-explanatory. A time of your life. I had the time of my life this weekend. I had a wonderful weekend, for example. So this one shouldn't be too difficult. Any questions, comments, doubts about this? Okay. Doesn't seem like it. So yeah, this is just pretty straightforward, like I said. What about number 3, Ken? Can you please read that to us?
Maybe Rafael's town. I don't know.
No? I'm sorry?
Rafael's town? I'm not sure. Me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I think
to be pressed for time You are in a hurry due to a deadline to tight schedule. Oh my gosh, time press somebody.
Do you have any questions, Ken?
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, maybe time presses somebody, pressure on somebody. Yeah.
I mean, I would say that's a good, pressure is a really good word to relate to this. Because if you're pressed for time, you're just in a hurry, basically. Oh, I'm pressed for time, I can't talk, I have to go. And that could be, like it says, there's a deadline, maybe you have a doctor's appointment, maybe you have something else that you have to do. So, oh, I'm pressed for time today. I have so many errands to run, I don't have time to do anything else. So you want to be very quick and you must leave. Yeah, that's perfect. Have you heard of this before, Ken?
Maybe, but maybe I don't forget. I forgot. Sorry. Yeah.
Well, that's fine. What about Rafa? Have you heard of this before? Rafa, you're mute if you are trying to talk.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I never
No,
heard
good.
this expression. Yeah.
So when was the last time you were pressed for time?
Oh, yes, today, because I wanted to be on your class on time, but I had other things to do, and I was pressed for the time in order to join your always interesting class.
Well, thank you, and good example. And Rafael, what about you? When was the last time you were pressed for time?
I believe it was last month when I had to a tight deadline to deliver the project. So I was strongly pressed by time, and I had to rush to set out everything.
Good. Yeah, so mentioning the word rush, you can say I'm in a rush, for example, or to be in a hurry as well. So good. Perfect. Well, I think with that, that's fantastic to be pressed with time. I was pressed with time, or pressed for time this morning. So if you weren't pressed for time, if you haven't been pressed for time for a month, then that's fantastic. So good, Rafa, can you read number 4 for us, please?
Number 4.
Not
time like the present. When you believe something is better done now than later. When you believe something is better done now than later, not time like the present. I was thinking about this expression telling about the present is the better time more than all the time, but I think it's another meaning.
No. For example, I said, oh, we have to clean the garage at some point this week. Well, no time like the present. Let's do it now. So yeah, basically what you said is exactly it.
Okay, perfect.
Kind of like yesterday when I got back, my husband said, oh, well, I thought you unpacked the suitcase, and kind of I didn't, because I didn't, and I had some other things to do, and basically there was no time like the present in that moment, and we unpacked the suitcase. So it's best that you just do it now instead of waiting and thinking about it. So good.
Could you say not time like just now?
No.
No,
that's not the expression. No, we use the present.
Thank you.
Yeah, good question. Seize the day, Ken. I think that's a little bit higher up on the emphasis level. Seize the day is do everything and anything and everything you want. So I would use it in a different context. Seize the day is go do it,
like just do it or something.
Kind of, go seize the day. Do what makes you happy. Do what needs to be done. Attack the day.
Okay.
So no time like the present is maybe you don't want to do something, but it's better to do it now instead of thinking about it for the next 6 hours or 8 hours if you're at work or something like that. So
I see.
yeah, yesterday we did some laundry, so it was upstairs hanging, and the sun comes out obviously, and there's some black clothing up there, so I thought, no time like the present. I'll go get the clothes, fold what needs to be folded now, and then not fold what doesn't need to be folded now, and I'll do it later.
Okay.
So yeah.
Life level.
I'm sorry?
More daily life level, like
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. It's doing an activity that maybe you don't want to do, but you have to. So, trying to think. Oh yeah, we need to go to the grocery shop later, or the grocery store later, to buy some milk and whatever else. Oh, no time like the present. I have a half an hour now. I have some time. So, any questions? No, Ken, you're muted now. No? Well, that one is a very good expression. So I like that. Seize the day is also very good. It gives you a lot of personal motivation, I think. So that's also pretty positive. Let's see. No time like the present. Rafa, I think you read that. Can Rafael please read number 5?
For the time being, when something is temporary.
Have you heard of this expression before?
No, not that way.
Okay. Well, that's good. Anyone else? Have you heard of this expression? For the time being. No. Okay, well, that's good. So this basically is maybe you're carrying in boxes. Maybe you're moving, for example. You say, for the time being, I'm going to leave this here just so I can go out to the truck and get some more boxes, for example. So you're going to leave something there temporarily.
And if you want, for example, make a cheers about the past time, one time in the past, could you say this kind of expression for the past time or something like that when you are cheering or greeting?
Yeah, when you're, yeah, I know that word. When you're cheersing, do we say that? Oh no, there's something else. There's a different word that we say, and I can't think of it right now.
Cheers for the old time is the expression.
Yeah, or cheers for, cheers to. I guess the preposition isn't a big problem there. Cheers to is when you remember the old times. Cheers for is the reason of the old times that you have. So not a big difference. To toast.
To toast.
Yes. To toast. Let's toast to, the bride and groom, for example, is a very common example.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. So for the time being is literally just, I'm going to leave this here now just because so I can do something else. So this could be, what was the one expression from the last one where it was to do something quicker? Save time. To save time. So you want to save time. Instead of bringing the box into the kitchen, for example, you put it in the entryway in the hall, and then later you will bring it. Oops. Sorry. Later you'll bring it into the kitchen. So to save time now, for the time being, you'll put it in one spot where it will not be forever. Okay? Any other questions, doubts? Well, good. So, Ken, why don't you read number 6?
Okay, to be behind the time, something that is old-fashioned.
So, for example, we see a car from the 1980s. You can say, oh, that's from behind the times. It's old-fashioned.
Yeah.
Okay. So it sounds like you understand that, Ken.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, Ken?
I know this idiom, yes.
Okay. Good. Any other comments or questions? No? All right. Well, in that case, Rafa, why don't you go ahead and read the last one here for us, number 7. Rafa, you're muted if you are speaking.
Sorry.
Thank you. It's okay. It happens. It's happened to me too before, so no problem.
Number 6.
7, the last one.
Do not give someone the time of day. To be disinterested or ignore someone. I think it's I don't go to give Mary's the time of day. Would you say in that way?
Yeah, I'm not going to give Mary the time of day. I don't like her opinions. She doesn't agree with me. Yep, so where we have the word someone in this phrase, we will put the name. Or if it's, for example, Mary doesn't give me the time of day, she doesn't listen to me.
That's right.
Good.
Perfect.
Yeah. Well, good. So, Rafael or Ken, any other questions about this one?
No.
No? Okay, good. Ken, anything?
No, thank you.
All right, good. Well, as you might have seen when I went down too far before, we have a couple questions here. So basically, these are things that we were mentioning before. So the question is, when would you say to someone, a long time no see? Who remembers now? Anyone?
When you meet someone you haven't met for such a long time.
Exactly, yeah. So do you remember, can you tell us a situation in which you could have used this, Rafael?
I think it was last month when I met a friend from college, and we haven't met each other for I believe it was 5 years.
Oh, wow.
That's it.
Yeah.
We had a lot of things to put in discussion.
Exactly. Well, that's definitely a great example. You know, you haven't seen someone for a long time. It's a friend, so it's an informal situation too. So great. Number 2 says, how do you save time when you have a lot of things to do? Ken, why don't you go ahead and answer this one for us? How do you save time?
Save time. Maybe I would prioritize things to do. So.
Would you multitask?
I'm not so multitasking, so I would choose the prioritize to do, and then I do these according to the schedule.
Okay. All right. Well, that's perfect then. Let's see. Rafa, you are going to answer this one. Who in your life do you make time for?
For example, yesterday I needed to make time for my nephew because I was interested in talk with him. I needed to make time for him.
Good. Yeah, that's exactly it. For example, I make time to talk to my parents every Sunday, and we always talk. There's been very few times that we haven't. So good. And this last one here, everyone can answer. When would someone use the phrase "time is money"? Anyone can start. Rafa?
in every place, in everywhere. Time is money.
Exactly. Well, that's very true. Anything specific?
In a meeting, you could say, if you are shouting around the bush or something like that. When you are
beating around the bush.
Beating, sorry. I always forget. Beating around the bush, you could say time is money in order to focus on your goal, or be more strict in order to don't waste time.
Exactly. So that's a really good example. What about Rafael? Can you tell us an example in which you would or might use time is money?
When you are stuck in traffic and you're having to get somewhere and spend hours and hours in the middle of the traffic, so it's a very gruesome situation.
Very frustrating. Good. And Ken, what about you? Time is money.
Yeah, and some people says, and it can be used two ways. Time is money, so you have to work, and then some other people said, even though I earned large monies, but I'm losing the time for working. So yeah, I heard such same idiom in the two different meanings related to working hours.
Yeah, that's true. For example, a lot of private lessons that I have with people, sometimes they cancel last minute, and it's like, time is money. Now I'm losing out on that money, and I wasn't available for someone else just in case. So time is money in that aspect, where literally time, my time is my money. And then time is money could be, come on, time is money, hurry up, let's go. So good. Yeah, I was just thinking about the two different meanings when you said that, so that was perfect. So good. Well, I think what I'll do is I'll stop with this for today. We have plenty more of slides to work on these with as well. So what I might do is I have all of my classes on the schedule until the end of December. So what we'll do in probably January, as soon as possible, we will review those again, and then we will continue with the other activities that we have using those phrases. So that's going to be a great review. It'll give us a couple months to maybe use them, forget about them, and then re-look at them again. So perfect. Any questions about anything before we finish for today?
It's a day.
Let's call it a day. Yeah, so finish, well, for this class. Good. Yes, and for next class, let me just take a look. I have my schedule here on purpose. Oh yes, we'll be looking at different ways on how to make a request about something. So it's more common phrases, things like that, maybe using these at work. You can make a request to a friend, I suppose, but normally it's a little bit easier just because you're friends, and it's not so formal. So we will look at that on Wednesday at 3 o'clock. So in an hour from now on Wednesday. All right. So good.
Thank you very
Any
much.
questions? Yeah. No problem. Good. So perfect. Well, have a great day. Doing whatever we're gonna do, and it was great that all three of you could join today. So thanks.
Okay. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
very much.
You too, everybody. All right. Bye.